So the other day I was taking a look at my engine bay and I realized that there is a lot of oil on the sides of the valve covers. I brought a light out so you could see it a little bit better, but this thing is covered in a thick, and that's thick with 2 C's, layer of oil. Like, it's so thick that that right there is supposed to be the cam position sensor, and you can't even tell that it's there. It's just gunked up with oil. A couple weeks ago, a buddy of mine, Chris, he recommended me someone who does ECU rebuilds, so I was planning on taking my bad one to him, or sending it to him, but he actually told me check the cam position sensors first, because usually they start leaking and oil gets into the sensors. And on the non VVTIs, there's 2. There's one right there, and then there's one over here. It's kind of hard to see, but it's hidden in there. And he said check those out first and maybe swap them out and check that out first before you send me your ECU. And lo and behold, there is oil everywhere. So I don't know if it's caked up because of the valve cover from whatever leaked here went onto there, or maybe the seal on the cam position sensor did go bad. But either way, I got 2 of them coming on the way. It's still gonna be a while till they get here, but for now what I'm gonna do is take off the valve covers and clean everything up. And I actually got some from Drift Motion, some new ones. I messed up. I thought these were OEM, but I guess they're like generic brand ones. If they happen to not work out, then I'll order OEM ones, but usually I'm all about OEM, get OEM this and that for 1Js, but I screwed up. I didn't read the description. The PVC will also need to be replaced, and I have a new one on the way. But I'm also hoping that I don't have to take off the half moon plugs that are in the back. If you don't know what those are, I'll post a picture of what they look like right here. And they use RTV in the bottom and not the top. The top is sealed by the valve cover gasket. I got a new oil cap. It's not a fancy one, it's just a regular $10 one, but it'll do the job. That way it doesn't leak. But also, I am going to be painting my valve covers while they are off, and might as well do my spark plug cover. I'm going to go ahead and get started on getting things removed, starting with the spark plug cover and this front cover. The spark plug cover is easy to take off. It's just 8 Allen bolts. I am going to have to get new ones because almost all of these were rounded off and they were almost on the verge of being stripped. But the front cover, it has a 10mm bolt here and a 10mm bolt here, and obviously on mine it's not there, so that made it a little bit easy. But this one was kind of hard to get to. It was right behind the power steering pump, and the other one I'm actually not sure where it is because mine wasn't there, so good luck with that. I'm also going to take off all the coil packs because not only do I have new hardware for it, but there's a lot of oil down in there that needs to be cleaned up. When I went to remove the first bolt, it moved super easily, so I checked this one, that one, and that one, and they're all loose. I got all the valve cover bolts removed, and this is weird. I've never seen valve cover bolts be Phillips heads. I don't know if that's stock. I'll have to do some research, but I'm an idiot. I got the washers for it, like these washers to replace them, but I forgot to get bolts, so I'm gonna have to order those too. All 16 bolts are removed, but I'm gonna need 2 hands right now to remove the valve covers. They're really stuck on there, so I'm gonna use a pry bar, and I'm gonna be careful with the pry bar because I don't want to crack it, and a soft mallet. I actually got kind of lucky because while I was removing this hose right here, it actually pulled on the valve covers and pulled it off really loose. I don't know if that'll be the same situation for you, but you can maybe try that, pulling it from here or from this little tube right here, rather than I was tapping it a little bit with the mallet and it was moving a little bit, but this is what did it. So with the valve covers off and the old gaskets out, look at this mess. I actually will admit, this is my fault. Since I got the car, I've actually never done any spark plugs on it, so that's why this is all new to me. And the coil packs are not any better. This is the part number for them. I'm gonna look them up, and if they are cheap enough, then I will just get all 6. But I'm gonna hold off on cleaning all this because this needs to be vacuumed up. I don't want any more gunk to fall inside right here. Some of it fell when I took off the valve covers, but I don't want any more going in. But here are the half moon plugs that I was talking about earlier. There's one here and then one back here. And they use silicone on the bottom, and on the top they just use the valve cover gasket. I'll take them out and clean up the residue that's still left on there, but I won't put them back in, and I won't RTV it until it's time to put on the valve cover gasket, because when you put them back in, you put the valve cover gasket on. Damn, it's loud as horn. Anyways, when you put the plugs back in, you RTV the bottom, and then you put the... Oh my god, bro. Anyways, I'll do them later. Oh my god. Anyways, I'll do them later when it's time to put the valve covers gaskets back on. But I might keep the valve covers off for a little bit until the cam position sensor comes in, because look how easy it is to get the first one and the second one. They're both right here. Actually, if my memory is correct, I actually replaced that same sensor on... Oh, here it is. Yeah, I replaced the cam position sensor on the VVTI, and this is the old one, so this is what it looks like. When taking off the valve covers, I did have some of these coil packs that were getting stuck on it, but I think as long as you leave them in, I don't think that should be a problem. I took mine out because, again, like I said earlier, I was going to clean all this, but it was a little tough to take out from this harness side. It was getting stuck underneath here, so there's this bolt right here that I'm going to take off. Maybe give me a little bit of wiggle room so I can pull out to get the valve covers underneath here. And I just realized that I have access to the manifold studs, and if you know anything about the stock twins on a 1JZ non VVTI and the 2JZ GTA VVTI, the stock twins are a pain in the butt to take off, and I am dreading having to do it. But I will probably just spray this shit with PB Blaster and loosen them up. I'll put them back on in case somehow, by some miracle, the cam position sensor and the ECU are good to go and this thing fires up. I'll loosen them up and then tighten them back up. That way they're just a little bit easier to take off later when I'm actually going to put on the new manifold. So I'm going to get all this covered up and get some microfibers on top, because this is going to be staying open for a while. Meanwhile, I wait for those 2 sensors. But in the meantime, I got work to do. I got to sand these down and properly paint them. It probably won't be any flashy color because I do want this engine bay to look somewhat OEM and factory. So I might just go with the factory colors, which is like a dark gray and a black. Alright, fast forward to the future, and I finally got the valve covers painted, as well as the coil pack, spark plug cover, and as well as the cam covers. The valve covers I got pretty close to the OEM color. I'll leave the link to the can I use from Rust-Oleum from Amazon in the description if you want to use the same color. And I just used whatever clear I had. I didn't even use high temp clear. Hopefully it holds. Both the coil pack and the cam covers were in really rough shape. This thing had so many nibs. I think this thing was like sprayed like numerous times because I took off so many layers of different colors. Same thing with this. It has a lot of deep scratches, and I didn't want to spend too much time prepping it when maybe I'll just get a different one, like a billet one in the future. So I just made them gloss black, and yeah, it's not the shiniest. It's got some orange peel, but whatever. Once it's in the car, it should look all right. So I'm no longer going to be taking off the half moons in the back because I took a mirror and I saw that there was no oil or any residue or any oil seeping out of there, so that should be fine.
And something else that I did come across when researching the 1JZ non-VVTI valve cover replacement is that the internet says that you want to put a little bit of RTV over right here over the half moons and also in these corners, which to me kind of sounds backwards, because like the whole point of a gasket is to not use RTV. But I guess that explains why there was a mess of old RTV right here, and man, this was such a pain in the butt to clean off. I still got a little bit more to do, but I don't know. I know that the manuals and the internet say to do it, but I think I'm gonna take a chance and not put it on and see if it leaks, because that is a lot more residue that I don't want to clean later if I need to take off the valve covers again. Okay, so I was wrong. I thought that you were able to take off the valve covers with the coil pack still in place, but no, that's not the case. You have to take them off because they go under here, and if you put these on first, you won't be able to get the valve covers on. Also, I forgot to mention that I am replacing the PCV valve. I got mine off of Drift Motion, so I don't have a part number for it, but I got the rubber piece and the valve itself. The rubber piece goes inside very easy, but the valve itself is a little bit tougher. I didn't want to rip it, so I put a little bit of penetration oil in it and it went right in. And another thing that I read on these PCV valves is that you don't want to use a 1J1, because I think that they had a problem with them not working, and the thing to do now is to move over to a 2J1. If you're like me and you accidentally push the old grommet inside, no big deal. You can take off this baffling with 6 bolts. They're actually really tight, so make sure if you're going to use an L or a socket with the Allen bit, make sure you do not strip them, because they're very tight. I apologize if I sound a little bit weird. At the time of this recording, I am still sick. I've been sick for like about a week, but I'm slowly getting over it. I did some research on these Phillips head bolts, and yes, they are factory, which is really weird because I've never seen anybody use Phillips. I just dropped that, but oh no, I found it. All right, so yeah, I ordered some 10 mil ones. These are 25 mil long, and these are going to be replacing those. The bolts are in, and I'm going to tighten them now from the inside out. And when tightening them, the torque spec for these bolts are 6 foot-pounds. But if you don't have a torque wrench that goes that low, just do a hand tight, and watch out for these corners. This one, and well, actually all of them, because these valve covers on the non-VVTIs and VVTIs are notorious for cracking. The last thing left is to put on the new oil cap. And we're done. I love how the covers came out. Like, tell me this doesn't look factory. So that's going to be it for this video. I know doing a valve cover gasket is not a difficult task and probably shouldn't have taken this long of a video, but this is my first time doing it on a non-VVTI, and I wanted to bring you guys along with me on the struggles and just me learning about it, because the VVTIs are a lot easier. Like, you don't have to take off the coil packs to take off the valve covers, and the spark plug, the coil pack covers, and the cam cover are all one, so you don't have to take off like 2 pieces. So this was new to me, and hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully you guys learned from my mistakes, if I made any. But if I do end up having oil leaks on the front where it said that you had to put RTV, and in the back where the half moons are at, I'll be sure to let you guys know. I felt a little lazy. I just didn't want to do it, but now I know what goes to what I need to take off, what I don't need to take off. So next time I put in a new gasket or put on that RTV, it'll be a lot easier for me. So thank you guys for following along, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.